Okay. Um, Clearly something is happening that the club has decided to do. Another reason why I'm very much wondering how Lindsey Williams' elite friend didn't mention this to him. This is now another country, Spain, December 19th. Cash transactions banned above $1,080 are now in effect. You have India doing that crap. You have Venezuela doing that crap. What was the other one? Wasn't there a third one? And then Spain now. And that they, oh no, it was, remember Greece, they were putting, you can only take out so much money. You can't take out this much money. You can't pay for stuff above this amount with cash. You got to do that. So this is like speeding up. It's all happening like right now. You would think, clearly, there's an agenda happening. All the heads of state and whatnot, they've got their little memo from the club. It's go time to do this stuff. And they're all doing their little parts. That's what I can clearly see. That would easily be something that Lindsey Williams' elite friend would be able to tell him. Yes, we're doing this because we're about to, do XYZ with the world currency. We're about to back it by gold. We're going to do this. There's going to be a two-tier currency system. Here's how it's going to work. We got absolutely nothing out of his last DVD. And you could argue that every DVD this year you really didn't get much out of. And I could not argue against you. Nonetheless, article, Spain, cash transactions banned above 1,080 are now in effect. Cash transaction bans just kicked in directly across the Atlantic. El Mundo reports Spain is outlawing all cash transactions over €1,000, or about $1,080. The Spanish, and hold on. Whoa. Speaking of €1,000 only costing, the equivalent of $1,080. Do you remember the days of the euro, $1.27, $1.30, $1.32? Remember those days? How about the Canadian dollar? Very close to being 1-to-1 with our dollar, then becoming 1-to-1 with our dollar. Not so long ago, by the way. I looked at that turd today. It is like, what was it, 66 cents? It's like a US dollar converted to Canadian. You will get, for $1 US, you'll get like $1.34, I think is what it was today. 34. $1.34. So here's a thought from Jason at 4. Pro tip to my friends. If you ever thought about buying a house, buying some property, and it happened to be in Canada and you live in the US, boy, oh boy, now might be that time. Even though markets are at all-time high as far as housing goes in America, back to the 2006 levels and whatnot, there's a big difference. 2006 levels Canadian dollar versus today's level Canadian dollar. Matter of fact, can I just take a quick peek? USD versus Canadian dollar. Historical chart. Can we take a peek? Got a 5-year and a 10-year. I'm going to put on the 10-year, open my scene 2 for my people. 2011, 2008, 7. So we're talking right around here, $1.20. We have 2007. I can't go back to 6, but nonetheless, look at 2007 and 8. It's down here. Where's it at today? Up here. Surprisingly, I don't know if I did a video on this one, but at one point, are you telling me January 2016, and according to this chart, and it is accurate, $1.45 for a Canadian dollar versus right now, as I said, $1.33, approximately 34. It's bouncing around. Could you imagine the kind of house you can get in Canada? You also could argue right now, Snip, how about anywhere in the world? Because the US dollar is out of control. 103, breaking records, hasn't been as high in 14 plus years. And I'm going to remind you, what happens every time the dollar hits these giant, obscene highs? It happened right before 2008. Did you forget about that one? All this crap across the world, they're suffering, having problems. Oh, let's invest in America and let's do all that. Let's move our money over there. Not that that really has anything to do with our dollar being stronger. Our dollar is stronger because the club made it stronger. They own the exchanges. They own it all. They move it where they want. That's why. Anyways, the Spanish ban is just the latest domino to fall in the global war on cash. Other European countries like Belgium, Portugal, Greece, and Italy have enacted similar measures. Sweden expects to be 100% cashless within 2 years. So hold on. If they're expecting to be cashless within about 2 years, does it make sense now that, oh yeah, India's gotten rid of their 500 rupee note, their 1,000 rupee note. Venezuela's doing the same. They're going to introduce new currency. Speaking of which, I got a present to show you. Subscriber of mine sent me a bunch of cash. Cambodia. Let me flip this around. Let me get off the screen. Got some Cambodia. Where's the rupee? Where's them rupees? Malaysia. Got some Malaysia in here. Hold on. Malaysia, more Malaysia. Thailand. Got some Thailand cash. Thailand. We want India. We're speaking of India, banning it. It's Korea. Got some Korean cash. Vietnam. I love saying this word. I've got some dong. I've got a Vietnamese dong in my hand. Excuse me, 1,000. Another 1,000. Japan, got some Japanese $1,000 note. Japanese yen. China. Come on, keep going, keep going. Indonesia. Oh, that's Indonesia. Sorry, I saw the little thing on his head. I thought I had India. Sorry about that. Mistake. Indonesia. Keep going. Oh, here we go. These are smaller notes. 10, 10, 20, got a 50. Rupees. There's 100. Oh, that's a 500. 500,000 over there. So this is still good over there. Another 1,000, etc. So I'm glad he sent me this cash because I can always pull it out at any time to show you essentially what a bunch of worthless pieces of paper are that have numbers on them that we accepted as money at some point that had some kind of value. This, my friends, has value. That's value, okay? And one day I'm going to turn a bunch of those in for a bunch of these. And they'll be American this time. So he says Sweden expects to be 100% cashless within 2 years. Certain Australian banks have stopped accepting cash, and the Indian government just banned 86% of the paper currency in its economy. Do you think for 1 second it's going to even be possible for Mr. Donald J. Trump to stop this plan from going on? No, we're not going to be part of that. We're going to keep to ourselves and use our own little currency here, the same US dollar. When the rest of the world is going to be doing this, getting rid of their paper, going back to an asset-based currency, backed by anyways. Folks, if you don't think this can happen in America, you need to think again. The war on cash is a global assault on your economic freedom. In today's can't-miss 3-minute market minder, the Palm Beach letters Tika Tiwari details the latest war on cash developments and recommends an important alternative currency, Lifeboat. Tika's preferred alternative currency could turn every $200 invested into a rare once-in-a-lifetime return of $6,850. Click here to see what it is. No. No thanks. So, back to the article. I got nonsense out of my face. Friends, we are at the cusp of a world where everything will be moved to a digital platform. That means everything you buy and everything you sell will be able to be viewed by a taxing authority. They are going to make us have to use debit cards or credit cards or some type of Fed coin to buy and sell everything. The time to take action to protect yourself from this is now. I've talked to you about the absolute disaster that's going on in India right now because they're essentially moving to a cashless society. Overnight, they banned 2 of the largest notes. The prime minister came out and pretty much just said, suck it up, we're going cashless. That's caused things to, like gold, to double in price overnight. Here in the United States, it's approximately $1,200. Over there, it's been closer to $2,200. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that the war on cash is happening. It's happening a little slower in Europe and the United States than it's happening in places like India and even Australia, but it's happening. The easiest way for you to protect yourself is to get some chaos hedges on. And one of the most powerful chaos hedges out there and a way to protect your money that is truly yours is something called BitCoin, they say in this article. And this is from investmentwatchblog.com. Now, I have been beating the drum on Bitcoin since it was about $450. I wrote a special report back in April of 2016 recommending Bitcoin at $450. It has already got as high as $775, which, by the way, as of today, is past $800. It took out this high here. It's getting very close to $800. I think once this closes above $800, this thing could easily go to $1,200 a coin, back to the old highs in 2013. Now, I'm not suggesting you cash in your retirement account to go buy Bitcoin. That would be insane. What I am suggesting is that everyone should own at least a little Bitcoin as a hedge against this relentless push on global or by global governments to exert total control over your money. Remember, friends, it's your money. It's not the government's money. It's your money. So, and you know me, I have to go with precious metals. First of all, in order, safest to not as safe, but still out of the system that can protect your wealth. Unequivocally, I'm going to go with 5,000+ years of history, precious metals. First choice, I don't care. Second choice, Bitcoin doesn't sound too bad. Can you imagine the days when it was $2 when it first came out? It got as high as $2. Oh my God. Back then, you could mine them with a piece of garbage machine, PC. No video card, nothing. Just regular old PC. It would have mined a bunch of coins in the very beginning. And I remember hearing after 2013, when it went up to over $1,100, $1,200, someone had a hard drive that had 750 Bitcoin on it, and it was in Europe somewhere, and it's in a landfill now, got thrown away. And I'm thinking to myself, round off $1,000 of Bitcoin, $750,000 for something that's not even printed on a piece of paper. It's still fiat. That's the thing. It's still fiat currency. It's backed by nothing. At least with currency, you get a piece of, like I just showed you, get a piece of paper in your hand. I've got this in my pocket, I can hang on to it. With a Bitcoin, it's a digital piece of paper, if you will, that didn't really cost anything to produce aside from your computer turning on and mining these things or somebody else mining them. And then all of a sudden there's this value. But the concept is still good behind Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, it's no different until it's backed by something. If Bitcoin was backed, for every single Bitcoin was backed by X amount of gold, it'd be a different story. Or if it was backed by oil, anything, no. Backed by nothing. But that still doesn't change the fact that it's freaking $800+ as I'm doing this video right now. Just to give you an idea, Bitcoin price, $837. for something that's nothing. You can't print it out. You can't even press, print on your keyboard or open a document, print this, and get a Bitcoin. You don't even know what a Bitcoin looks like because it doesn't look like anything. It's a digital thing in the ether. But again, you can't argue with something that's $837. Just like someone back in the tulip mania nonsense, 300 years ago, or whatever it was, 400 years ago, where tulips became, the must-have item, and they were selling out, and they were super high priced, and then the whole tulip market crashed. Again, the Bankers Club did that. But you could argue back then, well, look, I don't care that the tulip's outrageously high. I'm going to get in and get my money and get the hell out. I don't care what happens to it. The argument can be made for Bitcoin. I'm going to get in and get the hell out when I can. Problem is, as this transition away from dollars, and we're banning that, and you can't exchange more money than this, people are flooding more and more and more to Bitcoin as a medium of exchange for all kinds of different stuff. So it is now becoming a competing currency. The question is, how high can it go? And if I'm to believe the Webbot reports, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface with Bitcoin, while the same can be said true about precious metals prices. The only problems with both of those, we don't know exactly when. I will remind you, this is good news. Webbot said there's a connection according to its data. Disclaimer, maybe it won't get it right. But when it comes to Bitcoin, my goodness, has that freaking Webbot been on fire with its predictions being so accurate. And it said, we're looking for $1,000, again, not 2013, talking now, this year, recent times, we're looking for $1,000 Bitcoin. When we get to that price, and we will end up breaching it, sometime after that, should be soon, real soon, we're going to see the metals, as in precious metals, take a nice ride up. And we've been sitting here watching Bitcoin 550, 600, 650, 500, 600, 500, 600, 500, 600, up 650, 600, 650, 650, 700, up, no, 600, 650. Never mind, $837. Here we go. And Bix Weir, got to give him credit when he says something, all right? Well, if it's coming true, I give anybody credit who says something that happens, okay? Period. He said he thinks, and he said this a while back, we should see $1,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. Granted, today's as I'm doing this tonight, the 21st of December. We still got, 10 days technically, right? December 31st. We've got 10 days, which means 9 by the time you see this video, for 837 to go to 1,000, or even close to it. Not that means anything. Honestly, not that it actually means anything. What it does mean, as far as Bix Weir, because I don't think he has anything that said if it hits 1,000, then this is going to happen. He's just saying, I think we're going to see $1,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year for such and such reasons, whatever. But doesn't mean that because it hit 1,000, he's saying that this will now happen all of a sudden, like the Webbot. So those are two different things. What it means to me, though, $1,000 is Webbot said, pay attention to precious metals when you see that happen. Now, I noticed today on the way home, I'm listening to the radio, talk radio that is, 9:70 a.m. And they played a little news clip that Donald Trump has tapped Carl Icahn, not as a paid position, but as a advisor who we should put in the Security and Exchange Commission regulatory person. What? I think he's trying to drain the swamp. I know he's got some shaky, scary picks, but he just got a guy that I've read you articles about from some of the things he said. That I said, this, he's got knows what he's talking about. He's a billionaire. But nonetheless, he didn't appear to be one of the club. I haven't seen any negative stuff about Carl Icahn, like some of these other bozos out there. So I heard that today. I said, that wow, he's going to now advise Trump, who should be the ultimate regulatory person, Securities and Exchange Commission, over all of Wall Street. What I can't wait to hear, should we hear this, CFTC, Commodities Market Regulator. Who's going to oversee that? Because I want you to remember something. Gary the Turd Gensler was the top at the CFTC. Nothing to see here. No wrongdoing. No manipulation. No. And he, oh boy, was he a banker's guy. When Hillary was running, just like Donald Trump, together, they were both running against each other. Guess who went to handle her big top finance? Her big finance person was Gary the Turd Burglar Gensler. He didn't go work for Trump. He went to work for Hillary. So, I do still believe we need to be behind Trump. I'm very worried about the people he's picked, but as I said, he may be doing this for some kind of strategic reasoning. And in the comments that I read about this move today, that's what they said. He appears to be picking the smartest guys in the room who have made a lot of money for places. But make no mistake, it's going to be his agenda that he passes on to them to execute, is what they were saying. I said, okay, if it goes that way, this is going to be fantastic. We're going to have to wait and see. Take care.